Hello friends! As I promised, I'm here to show you what I do to help me be successful on community days for tutoring the Abecedarians in our classical conversations community. So I have a few resources here I'm going to show you. This is my planner. I also use the Foundations Guide. I make copies of the Foundations Guide, and I have this folder that I use that has pockets in it. And this folder I got from, I want to say, Office Depot. It's Real Space brand, 8-pocket letter size document organizer. So there's that. So first I'll show you what I do in my planner. This is a happy planner. This was a faith happy planner. I took the cover off of it, switched out the rings, and inside of it is a printable planner that I got from TheNeutralPlanner's Etsy shop. And this is specifically designed for tutors of classical conversations. So it's really beautiful. There's a lot of stuff she includes in here that's useful, but I'm just going to show you the meat of the planner and how I use it. So let's see here. At the beginning of this section, I have written down our community schedule so that I don't forget, because it has changed. We changed it week 7. I just like to have that as a reference while I'm planning. So let's see here. Here's how I planned week 7. In this document, if you do buy from the Neutral Planner, this is an editable PDF, so you can change the subjects. So I put the subjects in the order I'm going to present them, and then here I write out the things that I'm going to talk about or do in the lesson. So for geography, I had colored Hispania in blue, Gaul was in pink, so I could easily look at this and call those things out to the students. And then I wrote down Q-tip and Lego people march around to help me remember that at first the kids were going to have Q-tips to erase the maps, and then when we went back over it, they'd have Lego people. Here I wrote down snack because the kids will eat their snack during this time. On timeline here I've noted 3:13 because that is the timestamp for the song, the timeline song for the portion we're going over that week. So I often will play the songs from my phone, so this is an easy reference for me to be able to get to it on my phone. So I just wrote down the steps of the things that I was going to do to go through timeline, show cards, show the kids the cards, put the cards up on the board, and then the kids would come take turns pointing to the board. Then we would do science next. I have a note here, handouts, so I'd show the kids the handouts I had, teach them the hand motions, and then here I've written down notes for myself to remember what the hand motions were for each of the items. And then this was the tune we were singing the song to. So often I'll have the song downloaded on my phone, but if I can do it without playing it on my phone, I will. So I write down the song tune there for that. For math, first we went over it on the board, went over the numbers on the board, then I had the kids hop like bunnies, and then they took turns pointing to the numbers on the board. So for Latin, I also put in a timestamp here. I have the Cycle 1, one of the Cycle 1 albums on my phone, so I use that for the Latin. For math, I usually just use the app, so I don't put the number on there, the timestamp, because it's easier for me to use the app, quicker for me to use the app. So then for Latin, I had the notes that we're going to do finger puppets. For the first declension, we would do the monster finger puppets, and for the second declension, we would do the eye finger puppets. History, I have the timestamp there, and I put notes in here for myself for the different hand motions we would do for the different words. Same thing with English. And then the notes here for myself for this week was just our new schedule, because I was still getting used to that. Then on the back here, this also is editable. So I put supplies here. These are the things that I want to pack to take on the day of Community Day. So this is personal items like diaper bags, stuff for my kids. And then these are things that I use in the classroom. And we were starting tin whistle this week, so I put fine arts here, and I had all the steps that I was going to do to teach tin whistle. And I even wrote down the lyrics of Do You Know the Tin Whistle song here, so that I could just have this one book in front of me and use that as reference when teaching the kids. And then this bottom section is actually 2 sections. I made it into a review section. This really helps me during the review to try to cover the most amount of things. So up top here, I'll write my different ideas of things the kids can do during the review time, like coloring, playing with Play-Doh, or we'll use the silly dice to review things. And then for the reviewing timeline, I just play the timeline song. Here I was just playing the timeline song, and we have this little squeezable strawberry toy that we pass around in a circle called Buttercup. So I noted that there. We also just use the preposition song to review prepositions, and we do follow the leader to that. The kids do follow the leader. And then for geography, I use M&Ms. The kids move the M&Ms around on their map. And I will only review the week that we learned for geography. So this was week 7. So we reviewed week 7 geography, and then I put 2 other geographies to review here, because we don't have time to review them all. So I want to be systematic about making sure we review each one. So this week we reviewed Hebrew Empire and the Hittite Empire. And then I'll write down this little checklist for myself here for the review. First thing I'll review is the week of, so we'll review week 7 here. So I write the week numbers and then the things that we need to review. So we need to review, there's new math every week. We repeat Latin, so I do a little arrow down and I just cross it off when we review each thing. So I think that's kind of self-explanatory. And pretty much the same for this week. Yeah. So this is really helpful for me. I also reference this when I'm writing things up on the board for the day, so I try to write them in the order that we're doing it. And then also when I write on the board, I will write these timestamps really small next to each subject on the board to help me as well. So I use this, and then let me show you the next thing. So I used to use my foundations guide for review in class, but it's really bulky and the pages were starting to rip out at the bottom here. So instead of doing that, I've started to photocopy the memory work for the weeks we're doing in review. So on the top sheet, I'll have the week that we're doing. So week 8 was the last one we did, so I have that on the top. And then behind that, I have I don't want to show like all this because I know it's copyrighted. So under that I have week 3, week 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we'll review week 8 first, and then we go from week 8 and we start reviewing week 3. So I keep them in order. Each week I'll just take the staple out, take the oldest week out, and add a new week on. This is helpful because I also write notes on here, and this is easier to hold than this planner as well. So I kind of switch back and forth between referencing my planner and referencing this. It's kind of hard to see because I write in pencil in my book, so when I copy it, it's not as clear, but here I do the same type of thing. I write down the timestamps. Here we were doing, sorry if that was out of frame. Here we were doing science to the tune of Oh Christmas Tree, so I wrote down the tune name here. I wrote down little pictures here for me to remember the hand motions, and then in the song we were singing these are some types of seed plants, so I wrote the word these there. I did hand motions here for prepositions, timestamp here for timeline. This was the week we had to split it between 2 songs, so I wrote in like some of the extra words that were in the song that aren't on here. And then for history, I underlined the words that we were doing hand motions to, and I noted the hand motions down here. So this is super helpful, especially during review. I will just show you this real quick, how I've tabbed this. I tabbed it, I can't remember now where I learned how to tab this. I think it was a handout someone had given me from CC Connected that no longer exists, like the document isn't on CC Connected anymore. And I also was inspired by another YouTube creator, and I will link her in the description. So I've put these tabs on the side here, cycle, so this opens up to cycle 1, maps for the map section, art for the general art section, and then science for the science section. And then these top tabs I put to mark the week that we're on, so I can get there quicker if I need to when planning or if I'm in class. I do still bring this to class with me. Sometimes it's easier with the fine arts or with the science to reference this than to write the notes in my planner. And then finally, I have my folder here. I love this thing. It keeps me organized because I do bring extra handouts and stuff. I do stick in the sand, but visual aids are so helpful. So I put things in here in the order that we're doing them in class. So we do fine arts first before we do our new grammar. So I was using this to teach tin whistle. So I put this in the first pocket. Then the next pocket was geography because we were doing geography next. And then I have my timeline cards here for timeline. Then here I had my visual aids for science. Here I had my visual aids for history. And then here I had my handouts for the kids for hands-on science. I had a little cheat sheet here for me for the kingdoms of living things. Kind of like a script I was going to use to talk to them about the hands-on science. And then the handouts that I was going to have them use. I had in here ready to go. This I had kind of as reference for on-the-spot stuff for review. I haven't really used it. I have made the silly dice now, so I don't really need that anymore, but I guess it's kind of like a security blanket, like just in case the kids get bored during review, I'll have that. And then in the very back here, I have all different coloring pages for the kids to use during review. And I also have my little review flies. The kid, I bring a fly swatter each time, so this is another one of those things. If the kids get bored with what I have planned for review, I know they love to smack these flies with the fly swatter, so I just keep these just in case. So between all those things, I feel pretty organized, and this is only my first year tutoring, so I've been learning as I go. But I am on we're about to do week 9, so I've had a little while to work through my different systems, and so far this is what's working the best for me. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And one last thing, I do keep my little pen here. This is a Pilot Juice pen, and it has a clip, so I keep that on here, and then when we're going through review, I can easily cross off the things we're reviewing. Yep, so that's about it. I really hope that that was helpful for you. If you have any tips you want to share with me, or see any ways that I might be able to improve this system, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next week with my week 9 tutor video for new grammar for the obesitarians. All right, see you guys then. Bye.